Hello everyone and welcome. I am Bhuvana Jayaraman, an IT governance manager at Solventum and a project management professional with over 14 years of experience. Today, I am going to talk about something that touches every single one of us. How workflow automation and smart tools are changing the way we work as project managers. And before we get into the topic, let me take a moment to talk about the chapter itself. This talk is part of the Silver Jubilee series of the PMIPCC Hyderabad chapter, which is celebrating 25 years of excellence this year. Let me share a few words about this remarkable chapter. PMIPCC was chartered in August 2001, and over the past 25 years, it has grown into one of the most vibrant PMI chapters in India, with over 5,500 active members and more than 3,600 PMP credential holders. PMIPCC is also home to the Gyan Lahiri Conference Series, which was inaugurated in 2010 by none other than Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Sir, the former President of India. That's the kind of legacy this chapter carries. And what makes PMIPCC truly special is that it is entirely volunteer-led. Every event, every initiative, every piece of knowledge shared is all driven by the passion of its members. So, congratulations to the entire PMIPCC community on this incredible milestone. It is truly an honor to be a part of this series. Now, let's dive into today's topic. Let me start with a question, and I want you to genuinely think about this. How much of your work week is actually spent on project management? I mean, the real stuff. Stakeholder conversations, risk analysis, decision making, strategic planning. And how much of it is spent on emails, follow-ups, status updates, trackers, approvals that sit on someone else's inbox for days together? Resonating? If you are like most PMs, the answer is uncomfortable. Let's look at this data. Microsoft Work Trend Index tells us that 68% of knowledge workers struggle with the pace and volume of work. 60% of their time goes into emails, chats, and meetings. And Slack's research shows that a third of our time, which is about 33%, goes into low-value tasks. Now let's think about that as a project manager. This is the time you are not spending on risk management, not on stakeholder alignment, not on quality, not on the things that actually determine whether your project succeeds or fails. And this is exactly where workflow automation and smart tools come in. Automation handles the repeatable steps. Smart tools helps you summarize, draft, find information faster. The result? More time for leadership, less time on administration. Let's understand what each actually means for us. So what exactly is workflow automation? Let me put it in simple terms. It means that once a process starts, it moves forward automatically. That's it, plain flat simple. The system handles routing, notifications, escalations, and updates. You do not have to chase anyone manually. Happy? Let me give you a very familiar example, an approval workflow. You submit a request, it gets auto-routed to the right approver based on predefined rules. The system validates it. If the approver doesn't act within the SLA, it escalates automatically. And once approved, the system notifies everyone and closes the loop. No manual routing, no email follow-ups, no missed escalations, no one asking you, hey, where's my approval? As project managers, we already see this in many places. Approval workflows for POs, access requests, task automations, escalation rules based on SLA timers, so on and so forth. The point is, if you have ever sent a reminder email for an approval, that is exactly the kind of work automation handles. And it handles it faster, more consistently, and without human error. Now, let us look at the other half of the equation, smart tools. This is where it really gets interesting for project managers. The key difference is just this. Automation follows rules, smart tools learn, adapt, and assist. I like to think of it this way. If automation is the engine, smart tools are the co-pilot. Smart tools do four things really well. Number one, they summarize meetings, emails, long documents, and etc. They draft responses, reports, first versions of communications. They find answers, insights, patterns buried in your project data. And they recommend next steps, priorities, risks you might have missed. Now let's bring this into a project manager's world. Think about AI meeting summaries. You finish a 45-minute project call and within seconds, you have a summary with action items already extracted. No more spending 30 minutes writing meeting notes. Think about smart status reports, auto-drafted from your project data, or let's say risk pattern detection, where the tool identifies schedule slippages or budget trends before you even notice them. These are not futuristic ideas. These are the tools that exist today. The question is whether we are using them intentionally. Now, let me show you how automation and smart tools actually work together. Let's take a look at how workflow automation and smart tools work together. Let's focus on the top row, which is your process flow. A request gets submitted, the workflow routes it automatically. A smart tool summarizes the context, a decision is made, and the system updates everyone and closes the loop. Now, let's look at the two layers underneath. First, the green layer, which is automation. Auto trigger, rule-based routing, approval logic, status updates. This is more like the engine that keeps the process moving without human intervention. Now the next layer, which is the amber one, and these are the smart tools. Smart suggestions, drafting responses, AI summaries, insights and dashboards. So this is more like the co-pilot that helps the human make better and faster decisions at each step. So here's the key message from this slide, and I want you to really remember this. Automation reduces friction in the process, and smart tools amplify the value of every human decision. For us, as project managers, this means we can finally focus on what actually matters. Stakeholders, risks, strategies, quality, financials, numbers. Instead of spending our days chasing approvals and writing status updates that nobody reads carefully anyways. This is not about replacing project managers. It's about freeing us to do the work that genuinely needs our judgment. Now let's make this real. Where does this actually show up in our daily project work? I have listed 6 examples on the screen, but let me highlight the 2 that I think will resonate with most of us here. First thing, meeting management. Think about how many project calls you have every week. Let's say stand-ups, steering committees, vendor reviews, client calls, the one with your managers, the one with your team members, etc. After each one, someone, which is usually the project manager, spends about 20 to 30 minutes writing notes and extracting action items. Smart tools can do that in seconds. That alone can save us hours every week. Next example, status reporting. Let's say every Friday or Monday, depending on your cadence, you sit down and build a status report. You pull data from multiple sources, update a tracker, build a slide, write a commentary, have referral notes, and etc. What if your project data automatically generated that report for you? Less manual slide building, more time for analysis and decision making. I am now really curious. Which of these 6 examples on the screen hits closest to home for you? If you are watching this on YouTube, drop it in the comments. I would genuinely love to know which one resonates most with your work. Well, now you might be thinking, all these sounds good in theory, but is this actually happening in the real world? The answer is yes, and the evidence is strong. Let's look at these data in the slide. McKinsey reports that 72% of organizations are now using AI in at least one business function. That's not a pilot, that is mainstream adoption. Let's see EY's data. Their research shows that 96% of organizations investing in AI are seeing productivity gains, and 57% say those gains are significant. Let us see what Bain has to say. Over 75% of generative AI deployments are either meeting or exceeding expectations. And here is the real one I want you to pay attention to. BCG reports that 50% of companies are now moving beyond just using AI for individual productivity. They are redesigning entire workflows end to end. That is the shift. It is no longer about giving people the tools. It is about rethinking how work flows. And that brings me to the next question. Is this happening only in technology companies or is this broader? Let's see it in the next slide. Here are the numbers. Technology is at 60% daily AI usage. Financial services at 45%, telecom at 35%, healthcare at 28%, and manufacturing at 22%. The spread is wide, but here is what matters. Every single sector is moving in the same direction. Financial services holds the largest share of global workflow automation market, 23.6%, because their operations are compliance heavy, process heavy, and risk heavy. Sounds familiar? Healthcare is the fastest growing segment at over 11% CAGR. Manufacturing is accelerating through smart factory initiatives. So, if you are watching this and thinking, this does not apply to my industry, I would challenge that. Find your sector in the chart. Your sector is already moving. The only question is, I repeat, the only question is, are you driving it or watching it happen? If you are in one of these industries, tell me in the comments, where are you seeing automations and smart tools show up in your projects? I'm looking forward to your comments. I hope you all got a chance to digest the data that we saw in the last couple of slides. Now let me share 3 patterns emerging from all these research, and these are not just vendor claims. These are evidence-backed patterns from BCG, Accenture, McKinsey, Bain, EYs, and KPMGs. Pattern number 1. Organizations are moving from tool adoption to workflow redesign. BCG says the real value doesn't come from just giving people the AI tools. It comes when you redesign how work flows end to end. Accenture calls these companies as reinventors, and they grew revenues 15 percentage points faster than their peers. Pattern number 2. We are past the pilot stage. Let's admit it. Bain says over 75% of GenAI deployments are meeting expectations. EY says 96% of investing organizations see productivity gains. This is no longer experimentation. This is delivering results. Pattern number 3, and this one matters the most to us as project managers. The time saved through automation is being redirected to strategic planning, creative projects, and skill development, to name a few. Not just task elimination, but upgrading what people spend their time on. And that is the real win. The real win is not just automating tasks. It is redesigning the way work flows across people, systems, processes, and decisions. Now, here is the part that I feel most strongly about, and this also connects directly with my work in IT governance. The data tells us that adoption is happening fast. 79% of leaders say AI is critical for competitiveness. But here's the problem. 78% of employees are already bringing their own AI tools to work. And 60% of leaders say they do not have a clear AI vision or plan. That is a governance gap and is also a risk. And then there is this PMI statistics that should concern every one of us. 82% of senior leaders believe AI will impact how projects are managed, but only 20% of project managers report practical experience with AI tools. That gap between what leaders expect and what PMs are prepared for, that is the gap we need to close. So what can we do? Champion approved tools within your teams, build automation into your workflows proactively, ensure governance and data policies are respected, lead by example. Let's say upskill yourself, experiment on your own work, share what you learn, and most importantly, connect automation outcomes to your project KPIs. We are not just users of these tools. We are in the best position to drive intentional, governed adoption because we already manage process, risk, and change. So now, how do you actually get started? Here is a simple 4-step roadmap that I'm going to give you. Step number 1, identify the friction. Look at your current project workflows and find the repetitive, manual, time-consuming steps. The ones that make you think, why am I still doing this manually? Step number 2, map the process. Before you automate anything, define the flow clearly. What triggers it? What are the steps? Where are the decision points? If you cannot map it, you cannot automate it. Step number 3, pick the right tool. You do not need to buy something new. Look at what you already have. Let's say you have Power Automate, you have ServiceNow, Jira, AI Copilots built into your existing platforms. Start simple. Step number 4, measure and then scale. Track what changed, the time saved, the number of errors reduced, the improvement in cycle time. Then take what worked and expand it to the next workflow. And here is the PM advantage. We are all uniquely positioned to drive this. We already understand processes, systems, risk, change management, and stakeholder management, and etc. This is the next evolution of our existing expertise. To close, let me leave you all with this. Start automating your routine work. Start using smart tools to amplify your judgment. The future of project management is not just digital, it is intelligent. Workflow automation and smart tools are not a high-end technology topic anymore. They are a modern productivity topic. And as project managers, we are in the best position to drive this. The question is not whether to adopt. The question is how intentionally we choose to do it. Before I go, if you could automate one thing in your project work starting tomorrow, what would it be? I would love to hear your answer. Drop it in the comments below. And if this talk resonated with you, please do subscribe to the PMIPCC YouTube channel, hit that like button, and share this with a fellow PM who might find it useful. Thank you so much for watching. And once again, congratulations to PMI Pearl City Hyderabad chapter on 25 incredible years of excellence. Thank you and take care.